And as far as the Tampa Papers go, I have no news on the Tampa Papers yet.
What? It's Wednesday.
Is Wednesday over?
I guess
I
not.
will have news on the Tampa Papers.
Evening show?
A little bit later. Yeah. By the evening show, I will have information.
Better, because I don't know what it is.
On the Tampa Papers. So I have another thing that I'm really excited about that I haven't really had time to organize my thoughts about. So you guys, we're going to work through this one together. I was in contact with, well, I've always been in contact with a friend of mine in the radio business. You know what? I'm not even going to say who it is
leave him alone.
For this story.
Yeah.
And there has always been flirting between a particular company and me for, I don't know, going on, well, let's see, 9th anniversary, 9 years now. There's been flirtations between this company and myself. Wonderful company, great company, just never been able to work together. Recently, I was put in touch with their operations manager, the big
Spicy.
boss. And the big boss wants to talk. That's what the text I got yesterday was. The OM wants to talk to you about possibly working together. He goes, I can't promise anything to, he goes, I didn't promise anything to him when he asked me about you. He goes, and I'm not promising you anything coming from him.
Sure.
And I said, good, because I can't promise anything either. We talked about some stuff. There will be a meeting at some point. We'll work that out. But it trudged up some feelings.
You were excited?
I was excited. Fauci's Pangolin says, great, you're leaving us. Okay, before people get all worked up and nervous. See, now I wanted to do this. This is one thing I like about radio is a less active chat. You can kind of keep your thoughts focused a little more,
Flowing.
give people a better show. I don't want the chat to get nervous, so I'm going to say this first. The Steel Toe Morning Show will be on YouTube every morning. The Steel Toe Evening Show will be on the 3 nights a week that it's on now. What I'm about to tell you, if you love the show on Rumble, if you love the show on YouTube, what I'm telling you now does not affect that experience. This whole thing kind of started, I started getting these juices running, talking to Corey about the memories of the radio stuff. And that's always dangerous because, you always remember the good stuff.
You only remember the good stuff, yeah.
So I want to take this meeting. I want to talk to this person because I do believe as a broadcaster, I'm better than I've ever been.
Yep, and you've got a lot to offer.
Yeah, I'm more talented than I've ever been. The me that was on radio 2.5 years ago does not hold a candle to me now. I've been hardened by the internet for certain.
That's for damn sure.
I've added caveats. I've added attributes to my range of skills that I think radio is missing terribly. And there's another part of me, and I don't know how much it's always bothered me, but it's really started to bother me lately. I left at number 1 with a bullet and still getting a bigger lead.
Yep.
Like I left, my show was bigger than anyone's. The only person who could stop me was me. And I can say with 100% certainty that me now, 2.5 years later, never makes that mistake. And I'm still crushing everyone. Now, I do believe I had to get away from that company.
Oh, that was ugly.
That company was terrible for any kind of growth or my career or money or anything else.
Poorly run.
So this idea of a lunch, though, intrigues me greatly.
I'm happy for you.
I'm very excited about this. And I've stopped the chat completely because I'll get your thoughts in a little bit. We're going to do this lunch thing. I've got a bunch of ideas kicking around in my head about how we can incorporate what we're doing with what they're doing and vice versa. How we can make this thing not a hiring, but a partnership.
Start doing something truly unique for the area.
Exactly. Not only do something unique for the area, the entire state of Minnesota. This is a deal that has the possibility to have a huge scope. We're talking out west, out east, up north, down south, everywhere. Basically surrounding Minneapolis, St. Paul with Steel Toe. And the show would still be on YouTube because there are thousands, if not tens of thousands of people that watch this show every month. that would not be able to listen to it on the radio.
Yep.
So we will always have this show on YouTube. We will still do independent evening shows. These are my ideas. But there is a competitiveness inside of me that is not satiated by the internet. Because the problem with the internet, and we had like 350 people when we first came to YouTube watching us at a time. Now we've got, between Rumble and YouTube, 900 people at a time watching us. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, it does not.
Because after 800, 900, there's 1,200, 1,300. And then after that, there's 15,000. And then after that, there's 25. And it's just, in radio, there's a competition that can be measured.
Yes.
And I was the best at it. And I still
on the books is the best too.
Right. And nobody's beaten me.
Nope.
I'm undefeated on the radio. I haven't been beaten yet. There is something about going somewhere that needs help with something.
And being the guy.
And being the guy who made it what it is. I also have a lot to offer the business. I still, in many ways, love that business. I love the radio business more than I love the streaming business. I love doing a show. I don't care where it is. I'll do a show on ham radio. I'll do a show on
glam radio.
I'll do a show anyway. I love doing a show. I love my audience. They've been incredible for 10 years now. Well, 17 years if you count my whole career. There's a lot of people who have been here since Litchfield. But I miss beating people. I miss doing a show where you can measure whether or not you're doing a good job. You can't do that on the internet. How many shows do we see that have 80 viewers that are better with shows that have 1,000 viewers?
Sure, many.
There's
many
no metric on if you're good or not in streaming. So if we do sit down and we have this lunch and the idea of doing a morning radio show comes up, not only am I amenable to it, I would take it if the deal was right. Now, here's where I'm talking about how this benefits me a lot. I'm talking about how this would benefit this station a lot. Save them money, put us on multiple stations.
Sure.
Save you money there. I have a marketing background. I have a sales background. We can make you money there. We can bring our people. This coffee deal, we can bring to radio. Everything, whatever they want associated with, we can bring to radio. Bring April, bring myself, bring Johnny. We would probably be the most cost-efficient people they've ever had right off the bat. Everyone else, you hire them, it's a cost.
Bring in a whole bunch of audience, too.
Yeah, I think you could bring us in and it wouldn't cost you anything. What does that do for the YouTube audience? Say good fucking bye to goals on the morning show. For good. It's over. It's done. If we can work out a deal with these guys, we've got our streaming dream that we've always had, which is just shut the fuck up about the money and do a show. Mm-hmm. All right? Another part that helps out the YouTube people. You're still going to have YouTube and Rumble exclusive shows 3 days a week. The evening show will only be here. So now you're going to have a radio show where we get to do the things like the local stuff and fucking around with this and that and this, and having to walk that line and having to be creative with comedy where a lot of that stuff comes from. You get to do that. And then on the evening shows, cut loose and do whatever the fuck you want.
It sounds fucking fun.
It sounds
honestly
really, really good, and I'd love to do it. So I'm sure today I'll hear more about it. I don't want to say too much. This is a company I've always admired the way they do business. I've always liked their owner, and the only guy there that I have serious beef with has no power anymore. So that's
right,
kind of nice. And I have friends over there.
You've never gotten to work for a well-run...
A professional radio
company.
I've never gotten to work for a professional radio company. And this would be really awesome. They have a small rock station there that's getting no ratings. I want to go beat my old station with it. It's got a smaller signal than my old station. It doesn't matter. I'm going to kick the living dog shit out of my old station with this little station. Or they have a news station and they have rock stations in all of their markets and just put our show on those and let us go.
Can you imagine? Because I've only made it onto like 2 guest spots onto the radio before, but just watching you and your whole beating everyone with the rating shit was so much fun.
It's
just that feeling of like, oh, my team's winning.
Yeah. Ryobi with $10 says Tampa papers now. New boot goofing. Good luck with the teeth. Thank you, Ryobi. 265 away from today's goal. Thank you, Wasabista with 527.
Thank you.
He says Japanese yen is exactly $4 in Uncle Sam money. Now you know. And then 199 from MS Willie says that's messed up. April left her job to support you. April goes with in this deal. I don't know what you guys think the Steel Toe Morning Show is, but it's April. It's Johnny. Also, the company we're talking to loves hiring women. And honestly, a lot of 5s and 6s could use an 8, 9, or 10. So I think she'd be in demand over there. I think April has a lot more potential over there than just doing this. So, yeah, as far as the April left her job for you, what the fuck? Do me a favor. When I come to you with really good news, assume I wouldn't come to you if it had really sad news attached to it.
Oh, April's got to go back to the factory.
Guys, do me a favor. This is part of the thing I miss about radio. The lack of jumping to conclusions. The lack of people going, this.
They waited to hear what you had to say.
I did an interview with Ray DeVito where people referenced why they hate me. And every single one of those super chats on why they hate me was full of things that didn't exist. They aren't true.
Every single one of them was
and none of them
untrue,
were based in any kind of fact. Some fat retard told them that, and then they accepted it because they don't like me. You don't have to deal with that in that business. So we're going to keep having a show here. In fact, nothing's changing. I'm going to take these meetings, and I'm just telling you guys where I'm at going into those meetings. I want to compete again. I love doing this show. I think it's great. I think we're doing an incredible job. The amount of growth, nearly 10,000 subs in a year says that we're doing a great job. The amount of people that have tried to prosper weapons against us and failed, and tried to end us and failed, shows we're doing a great job. Mm-hmm. But that saying of, you always run faster when someone else is chasing you.
It's true.
No offense, but name any show that we've ever mentioned, with the exception of Revenge of the Sis. Nobody has any broadcast talent.
Nope.
Nobody is a talented broadcaster. They're an idiot talking to 80 people into a microphone. Not idiot, but in terms of the ability to communicate and broadcast to people, they're not good. I don't have anybody chasing me that I feel any heat from. I want to be chased again, and I want to chase other people.
I've always enjoyed the structure that came with you being a radio broadcaster, too. You give the shows good structure.
Right, and these people have told me before, they said, we don't want you doing sales. We don't want you burdening yourself with doing sales. You will come here.
You're spreading yourself out.
Right. And if we tell them, look, guys, we have an online presence. We don't need you guys to pay the whole freight.
And we also have advertisers that would come with us.
Right. We're coming to you with a deal, and you're coming to us with a deal, which is great. So let's go ahead and let's look in the chat and let's see what's going on. Pip says radio is dead. Radio is dying. Radio is dead. Yes, but but a lot of people still listen to it. In terms of business-wise, yes, it's dead. In terms of people still listen to it, and it would open us up to an audience that hasn't been able to listen to us in 2.5 years, we can tell you from experience, there's at least thousands of those people out there.
We still meet people that are like, oh, I used to love the show. Where did it go?
Right.
They don't know.
Thousands of people. Tin Man Taylor says, you're going to join one of the country states. No, it has to be a morning talk show. That's for certain. It has to be a morning talk show.
Too different from everything else.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I hope you guys are excited for me and April and Johnny, because I'm excited. And not only am I excited and April is excited, but this would, again, knock out the goal for the morning show. The morning show would still be on YouTube. All of you can still watch. It might even be a better show. And there's no goal. I can't think of a bigger win-win.
Dude, and if radio is going to be dying, you might as well be the one to burn it down.
Right.
You might as well be part of it.
Guys, don't worry.
We still have this. Like, if this shit doesn't last, it's here.
Guys, if it's dying, let me be the one to light the last match.
Right. I thought about that, too.
Aaron is ready to drop us like a... Yeah, see, just all of this shit. Like, I hope as I go further in the chat, there's people who understand what we're talking about and they get it.
I hope all that.
But like,
you're leaving us is new boot goofing.
As soon as I first mentioned it, like the first few comments I read, I'm like, guys, would you shut the fuck up and just listen for a second?
There is a chance you created that response, though, because when you left radio, there's a whole lot of fuck radio, burn it down, it's dead, and all that talk, too.
Who doesn't do that when they feel they've been wronged by somebody?
I completely get it. I get it. I'm just saying there might be a reason they're going after that.
Salty, see in the chat, this show ends on YouTube. No!
Nothing changes here.
How many times do I have to say this? Nothing changes over here. Oh, my God. Malevolent Bystander says, you're sounding like a sleazy car salesman right now. I don't know. I know some streamer said that about me, and people just started repeating it. It's horseshit. It's a person who's jealous of me. I don't sound like a sleazy car salesman. Perhaps you're not used. Again, these guys don't have broadcasting talent. So when they speak, they sound like mushmouth retards. So you think, oh, they're not lying to me because they sound too retarded to be liars. Trust me, they're lying. I'm sorry I know how to speak properly. I'm sorry I know how to broadcast, and that makes me sound like a salesman. I'm telling you the truth.
We also wouldn't be leaving, like, okay, I don't think, from what Aaron told me yesterday, we wouldn't be taking a deal unless we could continue to do something with this as well. This has to come with it.
Guys, this has to come with. You don't understand. They're holding 50% of the cards in this deal. We're holding the other 50%. We'll keep doing this the way we're doing it forever. But if there's a way that helps our audience and makes us less dependent and on the audience handing us money and allows them to just sit back and enjoy the show guilt-free, and then allows us to talk to more. Here's my thing. You want to say, here, that fucking used car salesman shit really set me off. Let me tell you something about a used car salesman. A used car salesman will lie to you about his motives. I don't lie to you about my motives. Here's my motive. I want to talk to as many fucking people as possible. And if you do this show on YouTube and on the radio, you talk to more people.
Yes, you do.
Period. End of story. I want to make things easier on my listeners. This makes things easy on my fans. I want to make this company more financially stable. This would do that.
Oh, sure. Some people out there that feverishly call us, oh, you gross e-beggars, and they're not kidding about it. Like, oh, you're just filthy e-beggars. You're taking the e-begging thing away from them now, and now they don't have a thing to complain about, so they're upset.
Edward says, hi, April.
Hi, Edward.
Special K says, I know who you're talking about. Mostly good people over there. Fuck you says, bye, April. Have fun on the farm. Put New Boot Goofing behind that, and then we'll know you're not an idiot. Magnum DUI with $2 says, I don't hate you, Aaron. Oh, thanks, buddy. Aaron does do well when he's got the challenge of getting around the FCC. I agree. Like Corey and I, when we were talking about the radio stuff, I'm like, I do miss doing some of that shit.
You miss the challenge of it.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Get that job, man. Bring back the days of Lex and Terry. Make morning radio great again. I wasn't the biggest Lex and Terry guy, but if you liked it, fine. Cynically Insane says, baldness is chasing you. It's been winning that battle for years. Will your opportunity be available to fans outside the Minnesota area if it's a go? It will be available to everybody.
I believe most shows you can find, like if you're not local here, you could find on like TuneIn Radio and shit like that, right?
Yeah. And you can watch it on YouTube.
That's an app on your phone.
April. You can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. This isn't going away. It's the same show.
And by the way, guys, there hasn't even been a fucking meeting on this. I was bringing up something that I'm excited about. That's it.
Most people don't like change. I'm guessing anyone being shitty is just, you can't change. This is something I need.
You know what I should have done? I should have never said anything.
Until
I should
after.
never bring people things I'm excited about.
Right.
Or that make me feel good. Because you'll run into a certain amount of miserable people who go, I don't want you to feel good.
It is no different than saying you got a new car. Everyone's going to have shit to say about your new car.
Yeah, Derek from Texas says, oh my God, Aaron is such a douche.
What? Like, you just did them a favor by letting them in on some interesting news that you had.
Malevolent Bystander says, you go looking for greener pastures, you're always going to be looking for greener pastures. Malevolent Bystander. They have a word for that. It's called ambition.
That's actually something I really like about being with him. He is ambitious.
Malevolent, I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
When you get complacent, you don't grow anymore.
Jack Floyd says, oh, okay, but you can't say half the stuff, though. Censorship? Let me tell you this. I've worked on radio. I've worked on YouTube. I can say more things on radio than I can say on YouTube. The only thing you got to get around is the sexual content and the language. Or I can say more on radio, than I can on YouTube. The amount of shit YouTube restricts you on, I can't get any videos monetized anymore. There's maybe like one a week that gets fully monetized. You can't, you can barely talk about shit. All right, let's continue on here. Callum says, what do you mean joking about e-begging? You guys are just insanely shameless, and Aaron won't shut up about the numbers.
Well then go away if you're so upset.
Callum, don't be mad at me, buddy.
I don't know who Callum is. You know who we are. There's a difference. Go away.
Callum, just relax, buddy. Derek says, I'm pretty sure I know what station you're talking about. It would be fun to see them surpass the old one. Wouldn't be that hard.
Low bar.
Trapper says, what happened to radio is dead. That must be a convenience thing. Radio is dying, but there's still a lot of people out there that can't hear this show right now that could hear it there. So if the deal is right, yes, I would do it.
There is no deal yet.
Right there, guys, there is no fucking deal.
Like trying to share some thoughts with you.
I honestly came to you guys with something I'm kind of excited about.
There hasn't even been a lunch yet.
Bird Collector says, I think 90% of the chat is joking or saying shit to get a reaction out of you. Yeah, but there's some people who we've developed such a big following now that we've also attracted a following of miserable people who watch this show to actively try not to be happy. And those people sometimes can be not only, it's funny that the people, April was talking about this yesterday. She goes, the people who say the word cope are coping the hardest because you won't talk about them or to them.
It's
like they're projecting everything onto you while you're doing nothing wrong and just doing a good show. It's the same thing with the people who come here to be miserable. It's like, you're like Billy Bedlam from Con Air. Happiness for you hurts. You hate this. So you're going to stay here because you can't be happy. Relax. Malevolent Bystander says, so now it's our fault you're abandoning us. Okay. Oh, Malevolent is joking. I thought he was being serious. Yeah, I said we're going to still be doing a show on YouTube every day. Okay, so he's just joking around. Because if you were serious, that would be like the dumbest, I didn't listen to a word you said kind of thing. So I'm sorry, Malevolent Bystander. I thought you were being serious. You were being silly. Continuing on, King of All Diff says, well, two things can be true. Yes, we can do both. Actually, that's it. There is no both things can be true.
Yeah.
We can do both.
And people acting, oh, well, now you're just on radio and you can't say shit. Like, no, we just got done saying we'd still have evening shows here.
Yeah, now the audience is turning around and they're now just being funny about it. Aaron, are you divorcing us? We can change. We can do better. Don't leave us, says Papa Dan. Cynically Insane says, you should be flattered. So many people would be bummed if the show changed or went away. No. I'm flattered by that. The people who are worried that it's going away and don't want it to, I am flattered by that. But again, I also don't like it when people like panic. I don't like watching people panic and then say things that aren't true because they didn't listen because they were panicking. And that's where I get accused, oh, Aaron's a used car salesman. No, sometimes Aaron has to repeat things 9 or 10 different times, 9 or 10 different ways because people keep hearing it and then repeating incorrect information back. I'm sorry. Some people get insecure about their comprehension skills, I think. Pip says it's still on YouTube, dipshit. No one winning anything. LOL, this isn't a football game, bud. Because Cute Diff says retreat back to terrestrial radio. Retreat? Adding it to what we're doing.
We just said if somebody else can pay the bills that's not you guys, wouldn't that be great?
Be
and
awesome.
We can reach more people.
Scarface says growth and expansion is a good thing. You know, a guy like him, not Cute Diff, but the guy he referenced, he would probably go harder on this show because it's another thing he'd be jealous of. Because these guys couldn't get the offer that we're getting. And still do their streaming. They're not talented enough. They're not good enough.
Not only that, now they don't get to sit and call us, e-beggars.
Right.
Lottery.
Again, people go, Aaron, you always say you're winning. I don't always say I'm winning. I just do the things I do, and it kind of speaks for itself.
I mean, you guys would be living like that, too, if you went after your ambitions. But
or had talent. Not you guys, the listeners. She's talking about other people.
Right.
Sean Raz with $10 says, how will commercial breaks be handled? Will you stay live here? Yes. Darren says, don't let the trolls get to you. YouTube isn't going anywhere, even if the deal falls through. Well, yeah, we know. Again, this is adding good things. Good old JR with $9.99 says, I'm looking forward to the Steel Toe versus Johnny Rock battle. See, now there's a guy who gets it.
How fun.
That could be a lot of fun.
Can you imagine how many people's heads would explode at your old station to hear you back on radio?
That's part of the excitement.
Even some of the shit I've came to you with lately about like other people in other radio areas saying, oh, nobody wants to work with that guy. He's the worst. Radio hates him. And to be back.
Guys, I don't know if you've ever left something on top before, but it does, you think about it sometimes. About like nobody, like I had it taken from me. I wasn't beaten. And that's a big thing. Wasabista says, we're just jerking your chain, dude. I know most of you are. 99% of you are. But most of my getting worked up about this is seeing you guys say things like worrying. I don't want to see you guys worry about things that don't exist. So I get a little rambunctious on explaining to you guys, no. That's not the case. Nothing here on YouTube changes. Except we might say more things. Again, I'm telling you guys, we'll probably say more things on radio that get us demonetized here. Because radio is more open on the topics you can cover. Radio is more free on what you can cover. YouTube is more free on how you can cover things.
Sure.
Put it that with the language and everything.
You know what'll change? No more can rattling.
Right.
No can rattling here.
Exactly. That's about it. $10 from the Tigger next door. Says, I say do it. Being the guy that secretly lives in April and Aaron's attic, I can get them to do anything. Well, thanks, buddy. I'm glad you're using your powers for good.
Jeez.
Expanding is great, says Sad Boy. Let's continue on. Chuck says, bravo to Aaron for not taking the day off. And Chuck is not the biggest fan of mine.
No, he's not.
So for Chuck to give me credit, Chuck, I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Malevolent Bystander says, man, that used car one stung a little. Yes, absolutely. That annoys the shit out of me because it's not used properly. Critically Insane says, you get me through my last 2 hours of work. Well, buddy, I'm going to continue to do that. John Jay says, all right, so let me get it straight. You're replacing Johnny Rock.
I'd never hope you'd go back to that station. No way.
Hulkamasha Baby says, would you keep talking to the YouTube audience when the commercial breaks happen? Or would that ruin the flow of the show? No, because what we do is we'd literally do that. We'd talk to the YouTube audience during the break. So for 4 or 5 minutes, instead of you guys sitting there listening to commercials, we'd read your feedback from the last story, see what you guys were up to, say some of the saucy things we can't say. Then there's the evening show where we would still just do that on YouTube.
You know what changes for us?
Right.
We'd have to get up and go drive somewhere in the morning.
You know what changes for you guys?
Weird.
Nothing. You know what changes for us?
Oh, man.
Everything.
Got to get up a little earlier.
Joe says the only thing that would suck is the commercials. Guys, I get that. I've already planned that out in my waking up early and not being able to get to sleep today. I've already worked that out. We're going to stay with you guys through the breaks and probably a little bit after the show. We'll probably just do overtime every day as a throw-in. I knew that one trip to the store for smokes would come eventually, says John Hahn. Bye, Daddy. Sad Boy says expanding is great. Thank you. Front Porch Conservative says, for my part, I say this. If you two can get a deal that moves your dreams and goals forward, go for it. Even if I never got to listen to you at all anymore, I'd still be happy knowing you're okay. We're not going anywhere. That's very nice of you. We're looking to add something to what we're already doing.
That takes the weight of the goals off your shoulders. Okay.
Oh, man. Blue Line is on board. Oh, boy.
Oh, God, no.
Gazi Boy says, stop bragging about yourself and do the show. That's part of the show. Welsh Schulte says, I'm going to smash that puppet. Okie dokie.
Good luck.
Trucker 18 Wheeler says, but Aaron, I like the begging. Well, we can still do it in the evening. How's that? We'll beg you in the evening. Oh, man.
Just for funsies. Just, come on. Tip them up, sit down, shake them.
This is kind of my fault. I have to remember the audience I have.
Yeah, they're going to do this.
And I have to I don't like not telling you guys things. That's my problem. When something happens for me, I want to share it with you. I maybe should not have broken this to you this way because you guys got really confused and really worried for a second. And there's nothing to worry about. It's all wonderful hypothetical news.
Yeah, maybe we should have had the lunch first.
Yes, maybe. Bring in Chad as a fourth mic. Yeah, I'm sure they want talented people, though. Boxcar Willie says, you have to do what's best for you and yours. This world cuts you no slack. Oh, Boxcar Willie's a soldier. Cynically Insane says, most of us are here for the foul language and sexually inappropriate humor. You didn't hear our old radio show. Sexually inappropriate humor aplenty.
It can be done.